Last time, I talked about a guy named Jack, and how he became instant best friends with a merman named Coomara. And they liked being around each other so much that they decided that they were going to meet again at the same spot a week later to go get drinks together. Well, a week later, Jack went to the spot where he met Coomara, and Coomara was already waiting in the ocean for him. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go get drinks? And Coomara said, why don't we go to my place? Jack's like, well, that'd be sweet, but here's the thing. I can't breathe underwater, so I don't know how that's going to work. And Coomara says, relax, I got you covered. And he pulls out this weird hairband. And it was this like hairband, but on the top of it, there was a dead fish, kind of tied onto it. And he says, if you wear this, you'll be able to breathe underwater. And Jack wasn't so sure about it, but, he didn't want to make Coomara feel offended or anything. So he put the weird hairband on. And all of a sudden, the dead fish kind of started to flap a little bit, and he realized he couldn't breathe. And so he jumped into the water, and he could breathe. And he's like, oh, it actually works. Because obviously, the merfolk can use magic. And so, Coomara says, awesome. All right, hold on to me, and we'll swim to my house. And so he held on to Coomara, and Coomara just kind of, swam really fast, paddled his tail back and forth, and they went really fast under the water. And finally, they got to this, little house that was made out of coral and stuff, and there was fish everywhere. And they went inside. And when they got inside the house, he told Jack, Coomara told Jack, take off the hairband. And so he did, and he realized that all the water in the house started to recede down. And it was normal, and they could breathe under, there was actually air. But it was only inside the house. If you looked out the windows, it was still water, and there was fish going by. He said, welcome. And then Coomara started a fire in their fireplace, and he, set a table, and there was this huge feast of the most amazing seafood that you can ever imagine. Lobster, salmon, crab. They had, shrimp, oysters, and they were just loving it, having a blast, drinking and eating, and it was a great time. And Jack was pretty excited. This was a pretty cool place to be. Well, after they were finally done eating, their stomachs were all full and bloated, and they were just sipping the last of their whiskey. And then Coomara said, hey, I want to show you my bottle collection. And Jack's like, cool, let's see it. And so they went to the back of the house in this other room. And as soon as he opened the door, there was this weird, glow coming from the bottles. And Jack looked at these bottles. He's like, whoa, these bottles are so cool. And Coomara's like, I know, right? Check it out. And then Jack looked a little bit closer at these bottles, and he realized there was something inside of them, this little glowy, sparkly thing. Every single bottle had this little glowy, sparkly thing. He's like, what's the little glowy thing in there? And Coomara said, oh, those are the souls of sailors that drown in the ocean. And I saw those little souls, and I was like, I felt bad for them. So I decided to just kind of keep them in bottles here, give them a little home. And Jack was like, oh. Now, here's the thing with Jack. He believed that all souls needed to move on to the next life, to the afterlife, right? But if these souls are stuck in bottles, there's no way for them to move on. And Jack couldn't have that, and so what he decided to do was save these souls. Next time, I'll tell you how he did it.